What if I told you that the secret to a long, happy, purposeful life has existed for over 1,000 years and it fits on a single diagram, just one simple Japanese concept that the entire island of Okinawa has been living by for generations. And today we are going to explore together exactly how it works. Okinawa has one of the highest concentrations of people over 100 years old of anywhere on this earth. Scientists have been trying to figure out why for decades. The answer isn't diet, it isn't genetics, it certainly isn't money. The monks and elders of Okinawa say it comes down to just one thing. They call it Ikigai, which broadly translates as the reason you get up in the morning. But before we get to the solution, we need to understand the problem. And the problem is very Western, very modern, and chances are you're already living it right now. Here's what most people in the West are taught. Go to school, get a good job, work hard, earn money, retire. Only then, after retirement, are you supposed to enjoy your life. The problem with this is that by the time you reach the enjoy your life part, you wake up and realize that you've spent 40 years doing things that gave you very little meaning. And eventually the emptiness that this creates inevitably catches up with you. The World Health Organization reports that over 15% of working adults suffer from some form of mental health disorder, and burnout is now classified as an official occupational phenomenon. And here's the cruel irony. The harder people work to reach that future moment of happiness, the more burned out, disconnected, and purposeless they feel right now. The Japanese have a word for this too. They call it Karoshi. It means death by overwork, and Japan actually records official deaths from Karoshi every single year. But the same culture that gave us Karoshi also gave us the antidote. And the antidote is Ikigai. The word itself comes from two Japanese words. Iki means life, to be alive, and gai means value, worth, or benefit. But together, Ikigai roughly translates as the reason you have to get up in the morning. Notice it doesn't say the reason you go to work, or the reason you earn money. It says the reason you get up. That is a very different thing entirely, different concept entirely. In Okinawa, there is no word for retirement. Not because people never stop working, but because the concept of separating life from purpose simply doesn't exist in their culture. Your Ikigai isn't something you achieve one day. It isn't a goal you tick off. It's the thread running through your everyday life. From watching a sunrise to savoring a bowl of food. From experiencing friendship to nurturing your creativity and connection. It's effectively in all the small things and the large things equally. The concept became famous in the West thanks to a diagram so simple it fits on the back of a napkin, but powerful enough to reframe your entire life. The Ikigai diagram shows 4 overlapping circles where each circle represents one question, and where all 4 circles overlap. That is your Ikigai. Circle 1 represents what do you love. Not what you used to love as a child. Not what you think you should love, but what genuinely lights you up right now, today. Circle 2 is to establish what are you good at. What are your natural strengths? The things that people come to you for. The things that feel easy to you, but hard to others. Circle 3 reflects on what the world needs. This is the circle that most Western self-help skips entirely, as Ikigai isn't just about you. It has an outward dimension. Finally, Circle 4 tells us what can you be paid for. This is where practicality meets purpose. Ikigai isn't about abandoning money, but about ensuring your purpose is aligned and sustainable. Now here's where it gets fascinating, as the magic isn't in any single circle. It's in the overlaps, and each overlap represents something different and offers its own quiet warning. Where love meets skill, that's your passion. It feels incredible, but if no one needs it and you can't earn from it, it's beautiful but not sustainable. where skill meets money. That's your profession. You're good at it. You're paid for it. But if you don't love it and the world doesn't truly need it, then that's still the road to emptiness. Where love meets what the world needs, that's your mission. Meaningful and alive. But without income, you'll serve the world briefly, then struggle. And where the world's needs meet what you can earn, that's your vocation. Valuable, paid, but without love or natural skill, it's just a job, and jobs, over time, wear you down. True Ikigai sits only at the center, where all four circles meet, where you love it, you're skilled at it, the world needs it, and you can sustain it. That is the sweet spot. That's Ikigai. The Japanese say finding your Ikigai doesn't guarantee you'll be rich, but it does guarantee you'll wake up with a reason. And it turns out that's the thing that makes you live longer. So how do you actually find yours? It begins not with grand ambitions, but with honest questions, and you'll need nothing more than a piece of paper. Question 1. List 5 things you lose track of time doing. Not things you think you should love. Things where you look up and 3 hours have disappeared without noticing. Question 2. List 5 things people regularly come to you for or compliment you on. Not just what you think you're good at, but what do the people around you already see in you? Question 3. What pain, problem or gap in the world genuinely bothers you? Not what you think should bother you. What actually keeps you up at night? Question 4. At the intersection of your previous answers, is there a way to exchange value? Not necessarily a job title, but could someone, somewhere, benefit enough to pay? Now, don't rush this exercise. Ikigai isn't found in a weekend seminar, but the 4 questions will start pointing you toward an intersection you may have ignored for years. Just make sure you're honest with your answers and allow the overlaps to work their magic. There are 2 mistakes to avoid. The first mistake is thinking your Ikigai has to be your job. It doesn't. For many in Okinawa, Ikigai is a garden, a community role, or even a craft practiced in the early morning. The second mistake is treating Ikigai as a destination, as in once I find my purpose, I'm done. The Japanese don't see it this way. They see it as a living thing that evolves and grows as you do. At 70, it may look nothing like it did at 30. Let's bring it back. Ikigai is not a grand life plan, it's an alignment. 4 overlapping truths about who you are and what the world needs from you. Specifically, uniquely you. The West asks, what do you want to be? Ikigai asks, who are you already and how can that be enough? That single shift in the question changes everything. So remember, your Ikigai is already there. It simply needs the right questions to find it. In my next video, we explore another Japanese concept, wabi-sabi, which is the art of finding beauty in an imperfect life. Until then, welcome to my humble temple.